What's up? What's up to all the wig splitters in the house? All you wig splitters, what's up with you? How was your weekend? Did you split any wigs? Did you bust some cheeks? Prison Talk Live is in the house with Big Herc. You know what I'm saying? It's going down. It's going down. If you haven't already subscribed, you're a motherfucking lame because you should have been subscribed. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. That way you can stay up to date with all the latest videos, wig splits, cheek busting. You know what I'm saying? And if you haven't got a chance to check out the website and to subscribe to the website, you guys should do so. www.FreshOutSeries.com. Subscribe to the website. We got some dope shit going down with the website. We just chopped all the prices on all the apparel. We got subscriptions jumping off when you subscribe to the website. You also can put up your playlist from Spotify. So we would like to hear about what you guys like to listen to. So make sure you subscribe to the website. Also, if you're an artist and you got some talent, shoot us a submission of your work that could possibly be put on a t-shirt. And we'll work out a split with you. So if you're an artist and you got some skills on the computer, you graphic design, we're looking for new designs. We're trying to, basically stay in tune with the fans. So if you got some cool designs, shoot us your design at an email, FreshOutSeries@gmail.com. Big Ann will go over the design. We'll see if it's something feasible. And if it is, we'll get back at you, send you an agreement, and we'll work out a deal where we can do a split on every t-shirt sold with your design. So we're trying to basically embrace our fans with the talent and what you guys have out there. So yeah, shoot us your designs. We'd love to hear from you. And you guys, we're going to be doing Wig Splitter of the Week on our Instagram. So for all you people on YouTube and Facebook, make sure you guys tune in to our Instagram because every week we're going to have Wig Splitter of the Week. Some dumb motherfucker, who needs a wig split. And what we're going to do at the end of the week, whoever gets the most reposts or tags, we're going to give away a free prize. It might be a pair of socks, might be a t-shirt. But anyways, we're going to give away something free every week, Wig Splitter of the Week. So make sure you guys tune in and to our Instagram and make sure you guys subscribe. That way you don't miss out. We're going to be giving away a lot of shit on this channel. And we're trying to get it cracking with y'all. Prison Talks, we got them rolling out. We got Something from Nothing interviews jumping off. We got Big Court. We got Gil, who's did his interview. We got a lot of good. We got Ombre coming up. Check out the Ombre. He's a rapper from up north. He's got an interview coming out in the next couple months. We're doing a lot of stuff. We're working on getting a couple of big people on the channel. So stay tuned. I don't want to leak it out right now, but once we get the interviews in the bucket, I'll let you guys know who we got coming up. But make sure you guys stay tuned and check out some of the older interviews to kind of bring you up to date on what's happening with us. We're still trying to get the show cracking on Netflix. We're still trying to get on Joe Rogan. You know what I mean? So hopefully in due time it'll all come together like some tight butt cheeks. So what's up with the questions here? Somebody said, what's up with the Tales from the NS? Well, Tales from the North Side. We're working on getting a continuation of that. We're also working on getting a couple other little series jumping off as far as to keep you guys going. It's different people. We're looking. We got an interview coming up with an ex-skinhead. This guy was big time, a homie of mine. So he's going to be doing an interview pretty soon. And you guys are going to really enjoy that one. This guy's a G. You know what I'm saying? Radical Reggie, thanks for the donation. Somebody asked me, what spiritual books did I read in prison? One of the most profound books I read, and we have our book list on our website, FreshOutSeries.com, was Conversations with God. If you're going through some rough times, read that shit, and it will get your mind thinking on a positive path. And also Deepak Chopra. Who else we got out here? Somebody said Northside Love something. Insane Gaming. Thanks for the donation, man. Why do so many keyboard warriors sell wolf tickets here? You know, I was asking the same thing. You know, when I was growing up, man, you couldn't sell wolf tickets like that because you get your motherfucking wig split. See, you could only talk shit in person, or if you talk shit and word got out, there was nowhere to go because most likely you were talking shit in a vicinity where somebody could touch you. But this internet, man, the fucking trolls, it's like it amazes me how they spend their time trolling. And they don't put in no work. They're all soft as motherfucking butter, and they got motherfucking prosthetic dildos in their booties. Claps out. Shout out to all the trolls out there with the prosthetic dildos in their butts. John, thank you for the donation. Yo, Herc, what up? If you're participating in sports on the yard, such as basketball, would you have to be ready for fights or to possibly split some wigs? Yes. Playing basketball in prison, sports will get you caught up in some shit. So I would tell you to avoid sports if possible and participate in educating yourself. Mad Hatter, thanks for the donation, man. Love from Rialto. Hey, man, shout out to Rialto. Hey, shout out to condolences to the people and Sam Bruno who was at YouTube who got shot today. Sad situation. The shooter, I guess, killed themselves. Just a sad situation all the way around the board, man. I don't know why people do that shit and then they kill themselves. It's like, man, you know, do something else, man. Somebody said, what the fuck? I balled all 4 years I did. Never got caught up with shit. Hey, man, more power to you. I seen a lot of motherfuckers get caught up, though. I seen dudes out there talking shit, and, you know, it just depends on where you're at. I mean, you know, each his own. Somebody said, can you split a wig while busting cheeks? I don't know, man. That's kind of unless you're into some BDSM. Some of you guys might be into that shit. Getting tied up, you know, having your motherfucking scrotum sack tugged real hard, you know, getting whipped and flogged and shit. Some of you kinky motherfuckers out there. Shooter with a chick. Yeah, that's what I heard. They said it was a female, man. Big Herc, did you hear about the girl that, what did you say? The girl that shot a dude in the head in Texas. I didn't hear about that, man. There's always some violent shit going on in the world, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they need to jump off the Brave Bridge. If you're going to commit suicide, motherfucker, just kill yourself. Don't go and kill other people on top of it. I mean, come on, man. That's scandalous, man. What should you do if someone murdered your cellmate while you were in there? Well, you can't be in there while murder's taking place. I mean, you know, I never heard a motherfucker watching a cellmate get murdered. You know, if your cellmate's getting down and that's your partner, you better have his back. Big Herc, I had a question about showing your papers. If you hand them over and they don't give them back to you, do you have to split some wig or do you have access to reprint them? Keep up the good work. When you show paperwork, man, you're showing to the shot caller of that particular car, and he's most likely going to look at your paperwork and give it right back to you. I don't know. Somebody said, does hair affect your prison time? Somebody said they see people cut their hair off. I don't think so. I don't think the hair makes a difference. What if your cellmate is a rival? You can't. Why would you be? You can't. A North Daniel and a Serrano is not going to be in the same cell. A Crip and a Blood is not going to be in the same cell unless they homies from LA or something like that. It's just like you're not going to put a motherfucking a Paisa in a cell with a North Daniel or a Latin King in a cell with somebody from like I don't know, New Jersey. It doesn't work like that. You cell up with people that you're cool with. That's just how it works. What's the best way to mail someone from the outside? You just write them a letter. Big Kirk, if somebody has an arrest warrant, where can you go to avoid being caught? If you have an arrest warrant, depending on what it's for, get you an attorney, have them look up the paperwork and see if you can't work out something, because if they got connections with the district attorney, they might be able to work out a deal where you can get that shit resolved without having to turn yourself in, unless it's a serious arrest warrant. Somebody said, when I asked about the hair, I meant to ask, do folks cut their hair so other inmates don't pull that shit to be punked or not? No, I never heard of that. I know some Rastas in the pen that have dreads. One Rasta had dreads all the way down to his ass. And this motherfucker, you was not going to pull his shit because he'll probably stick the shit out of you. He was a crazy motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So I never seen him worry about anybody pulling his hair. Somebody say Big Herc. What? Hey, Big Herc, what if you have a major joint bond issue and you can't really work out in prison? Are you looked at as food? Nah, man. Prison, mind your business. Don't go to prison. First off, don't go to prison and you ain't got to worry about getting down with anybody. You know what I'm saying? If you have enough sense to be on this channel watching this show, then you should have enough sense not to take your ass to prison over some stupid shit, I hope. There's a shit ton of respect in the pen. People don't realize that shit. I agree. It'd be a lot of the youngsters that come in there thinking that they hard, get their wig split because they don't understand the game. But, man, for the most part, if you mind your business, you stay out the way, you ain't going to have no problems. Yo, Big Herc, have you been in juvenile prison? I did 12 months in juvenile prison program in Florida. Yeah, I did 8 months in juvenile hall. And 6 months of that was at, 3 month, 28 days of that was at the boys ranch. So it was like a YA, youth authority. Nah, the pen isn't the place to be. That's why I come on here, and try to share this information because I don't glorize the pen. See, some of these channels, these fake ass motherfuckers, man, they try to talk all these stories and act like it's cool going to the pen and lying and shit. Man, you don't want to be in the pen and you don't want to have to go through that and get out here and tell these fucking stories. I'm doing this shit, man, because I'm trying to give back, but I'm not glorifying any of it. A lot of these motherfuckers, man, be lying and shit. And don't nobody I know that was in the pen want to fucking be there, and ain't nobody running around gossiping, and getting into everybody's fucking business, man. That's some bullshit. It's not. There's not one day I was in prison that I didn't want to be at home. So I just kicked it real with you guys. I made a stupid ass mistake. I was in a different mind frame, and I'm trying to now put you guys in a positive mind frame so you can get out here and do something with your life because going to the pen and coming out, having tattoos, acting like you got all these fucking stories, that's a fucking buster, man. Somebody says, is it possible to get a gun in jail in California? I've never seen anybody with a gun in California. I'm quite sure motherfuckers can make different types of shit, but I've never seen one. Hey, Big Herc. If you are pooping while your roomie starts getting his wig split, do you finish the poop or do you help your roomie? Let me tell you something about pooping in prison. I did a video about that. Now, you're not taking a shit without a lookout. So if some shit goes down and it kicks off on a yard or in a unit and you're taking a shit, you better pinch that shit up and get to throwing some dogs. That's what's up. Let's see here. What happens if you get arrested abroad? I missed that question. Insane Gaming, thanks for the donation. Do people size you up when you first arrive in the pen? Of course. It's like animals in a motherfucking in a kennel, man. When you first walk up, everybody's looking at you coming to the unit. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to ask you, who else came with you? Where are you from? Who you selling up with? That's the first thing they do. Everything is based on physical appearance to some degree after you open your mouth. If someone comes at you with a knife in prison, do you run or fight? If somebody comes at you with a knife, kick his motherfucking legs. I mean, half the motherfuckers don't have no leg game, and you don't want to run because you don't want to get stabbed in the back. You never run. If anything, you rush that motherfucker because he ain't going to know what to do anyways. Half the motherfuckers in there, man, is not trained in fucking hand-to-hand combat. It's all defensive. So if you got a motherfucker and if you get an opportunity before he pulls that knife out, break his motherfucking wrist, chop his motherfucking throat, kick his motherfucking legs out from underneath him. Somebody says, have you ever been shot at? Yeah. With a Uzi. Have you ever heard of an incident that happened at visitation, like another inmate said something to another inmate family, and you can happen if you can answer? Visiting, man, You don't want to disrespect the motherfucker at visiting. I've heard of motherfuckers getting a wig split later on in the unit for disrespecting the motherfucker at visiting. Somebody asked a stupid ass question about a shot caller busting someone's cheeks. Man, I don't know what's the fascination with somebody hitting another man's booty hole. I didn't know them type of people up in there, man. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't fuck with them dudes. You know what I'm saying? How do you get away from an Uzi fight? I got lucky, man. I fucking hit the ground. Dude waved it, and by the grace of the universe or God, man, I somehow hit the ground fast enough to where the bullets didn't hit me, and he ended up hitting somebody else like behind me, and then he got in a high-speed chase, and the nigga got arrested. I heard he did like 11 years in the pen or something like that for that attempted murder. I don't know anything about Mexican prisons. Somebody said, hey, Big Herc, if someone makes me a cake and puts a plastic gun inside, I wouldn't make it through customs. That's a crazy question. I ain't never heard of that, man. My question, if you got arrested abroad, what happens to you? Can the U.S. get you out? Not if you're not important. I mean, if you're abroad and you do some dumb shit, you get caught with some cocaine or heroin or any type of drugs, or you get caught up in a murder, you're fucked. You're going to do time over there, wherever the fuck it's at. Unless you're a fucking diplomat and you got diplomatic immunity and the government waives your immunity so you can be subject to prosecution, then you're going to do time in whatever country you get caught up in. So best believe that. What are my thoughts on Larry Hoover? I don't really know about him, man. I just seen the little stuff, American Gangster. And, it's hard to judge people based on something else that somebody else has interpreted. So I don't want to speak on OG. Somebody said, can you be laid back and laugh at all the time in prison? I don't know. I didn't do too much laughing up in there. I mean, people do crack jokes, but... somebody says, hey, Big Herc, my uncle is doing 25 years in prison. He's 8 years, and he wrote me saying he's working on an appeal. What did they look for at the appeal hearing? Well, if you're writing on appeal, and depending on what the case consisted of, there might have been something that your attorney didn't argue in trial, so it could be raised on appeal, and you never waive it. So there's a lot of different things. It could be a jurisdictional issue. It could have been illegal search and seizure. It could have been the right to due process. It could have been they didn't have a proper warrant, and this wasn't really looked into during the trial. There's a lot of things. I've seen a lot of brothers get their cases overturned on appeal. It just depends on what kind of case it is. Greg, thank you for the donation, man. Hey, Big Herc, just want to thank you for your positive motivational message. Keep up the good work. Hey, man, I appreciate it, man. Trying to, like I said, this stuff ain't glamorous. I don't try to glorify prison, man. It's like, I wonder why I made some of the choices I made and I went there, man, but it had to have a purpose. So that's why I share this stuff with you guys. Someone dropped a kite in my unit saying there was a gun on the yard and some bullshit. Did something similar happen to you? Yeah, when I was at Sheridan, a motherfucker dropped a kite saying that an inmate had a gun on the yard. They locked the whole facility down and went unit to unit, strip searched everybody, twerped every fucking cell, and twerped every unit. And it was just some bullshit. Had us fucking, and just our dun-dun-duns basically butt naked, and they fucking just tore the motherfucking whole compound up. Somebody said, piping wants to, thanks for the donation. Now, this is a hell of a question. He said, if you're tugging your willy, he paid for this, you guys, Piping Ronnie. He gave a donation to ask, if you're tugging your willy in prison, do people think twice about splitting your wig or do you get a pass? Think about that question. Tugging your willy. Hey, man, everybody's tugging their motherfucking willy in prison, man. Unless the motherfucker's on some man cheeks. So don't nobody give a fuck. On the weekends, motherfuckers is passing around fuck books. You know what I mean? Like it's a thing to do. Hey, Big Herc. My son looks up to you. He also has dreams and aspirations. He isn't a bad kid, but he made some bad decisions transitioning into adulthood. What advice would you give him? The advice I would give somebody who's made some mistakes, man, is that, you know, everybody makes mistakes in life, man. And if you can walk away from that mistake, then at least you have a second opportunity. Because, you know, if you do something and you hurt somebody in a way where they can't come back and therefore you're held accountable for that deed, then, you know, sometimes you might not get a second chance. You know, your life might be done. So if you made a mistake and you're trying to make an improvement now, hey man, that's all you can do to change your life. So at least you're not, you know, caught up in a situation that you can't walk away from. My dude got 25 years in Texas, non-3G on burglary habitat. He up for parole in 2020. What are your thoughts on him getting parole the first time? It depends on what he's doing in there, what kind of programs he's doing, if he's got any certificates, what his previous, you know, what his behavior is in there. All that plays a factor, I would imagine. So I don't know, man. Maybe, you know, he might get out early. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, I don't know in Texas, but in other states, California, you know, you might get parole the first time, maybe not. I don't know. It just really depends on his behavior and who he has speaking up for him at his parole hearing. I've never seen a prisoner with a pet. Somebody says, hey, Big Herc, love your channel. When you come into NYC, a lot of Peter gazers in the subways. Should I split their wig? You know them Peter gazers, man, when they're looking at your Peter, you give them that side eye and let them know that you recognize that they're a motherfucking Peter gazer. And then the next time they do it, you pump a fist at them and say, hey, man, you might get your motherfucking wig split. You keep doing that shit. Tear Talk. Hey, I'm doing some research for an episode on my channel. Do you think it's okay for an officer to call an inmate by their street name? Nah. Other inmates hear that shit. It sounds like you guys got a little thing going. You don't want to, I don't give a fuck how cool a CO is in prison. You talk to the police too much in prison, motherfuckers going to consider you suspect. So no matter how cool the guard is, he's a guard, you know, you're considered an inmate, and you're not to be fraternizing beyond like just your typical, you know, bullshit. Even though like there is some cool guards up in there, it's just, you know, you got inmates up in there who play this prison shit serious, and you can get your wig split. Somebody says, why do Border Brothers and others stay out of trouble in prison? I've seen Border Brothers get into it in prison. I was at an institution, I've seen Border Brothers get into it with the AZ boys. So they don't always stay out of trouble. Kendall, thanks for the donation. Oh, tell us about Big Mike in prison busting cheeks. Big Mike. Big Mike with a shot collar at Sheridan for the white boys. I did a prison talk about this. I didn't want to put him out there, but Big Mike, big motherfucker, man. Beastly, you know, put in work at other spots from what I heard. But this little Native American showed up, and you know, Big Mike went to the warden and said, hey, man, this is my friend, and blah, 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 and let the warden know. And the warden put the you know, Native American in the cell with Big Mike, and Native American, you know, had the tight khakis on with the tight shirt with the little hair done up and shit. And, you know, basically took care of Big Mike's cell. And, you know, I don't know, apparently the homie that was next to Big Mike said he used to hear some cheeks getting busted late night. I'm glad I didn't hear that shit. Gregory Lopez, what's up? Hey, Big Herc, how were the Italians in the feds? I enjoy your channel. Keep up the great work, Vato. Nothing but positivity and respect from Dallas, Texas. The Italians, there wasn't a whole lot of Italians in Lompoc. There was an OG Italian in Lompoc. Looked like, like a grandpa, but he was quiet, respectable dude. Carmine Persico, man, head of one of the biggest crime families on the East Coast, and he was out there, and he just did his thing, man. You would have never known until you read about him, what he was capable of doing. You know what I mean? But real quiet guy. There's a couple other Italian cats on the yard. I used to work out, not work out with him, but we used to talk to him here and there. But just minded their business, man. It wasn't in the mix. Wasn't just dude. They kept a tight ship. The ones I knew. Elbert, thanks for the donation, man. Fucking A. Oh, shit. Here we go. For some reason, it jumped off track. Sorry about that, you guys. Tell me about your pre-workout, G. Pre-workout, man. The yard time is popping. If you haven't tried the yard time already, you're missing out. You know what I'm saying? We got the pre-workout on the website. And, yeah, man, the yard time is the shit. Somebody said, Colombo boss. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you can read about him, man. Google Carmine Persico, man. He was no joke. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, man, I just used to see him. He's real quiet, watch his little TV shows, do his little, eat his little meals and shit, and just do his thing, man. Nobody fuck with him. I never seen, thank you, Michael, for the donation. I never seen any punks putting in work in prison, man. Like I said, man, I wasn't running around with punks, man. Dudes who talk about that shit. I mean, dude, everybody's got their own cliques in prison. Everybody got their own business. If you know what a punk is doing, then you must have been running with him. And I didn't know what the fuck they were doing in there. Josh and Jesus, thank you for the donation. Do you think all drugs should be legal? No. Because you got motherfuckers who take drugs and are fucking crazy. There's got to be some type of regulatory system so that people just don't fucking just go out of their fucking mind on drugs, man, and just you have this total chaos. I got relatives, man, that fucking did drugs and they're fucked up. You know what I mean? So, and they get them regardless. And people who get high, they're going to get high regardless. So, that's just how it goes, man. How can you tell an OG versus a cocky know-it-all? How can you tell an OG? An OG is quiet. He don't do a lot of talking, unless you're his partner. And he's not bragging about shit. He's really trying to lace you up on game and telling you what you need to do to become a better person if you have a second opportunity. He's not bragging about his accolades in there and who he shanked and what he's done in other institutions. That's not a real OG. If anything, he's sharing an experience so that you can learn from it. Iron Man, thanks for the donation. What if your roommate is a Peter Gazer? I don't know what to tell you, partner. You better change roommates. Big Herc, how often do motherfuckers smoke weed in prison? Where they smoke it? Shit, man, they smoke it in the cell, man. They smoke it in the cell, blow it out the window. There's drugs circulating around prison all the time. I wasn't in the drug game in prison. I wasn't networking with dudes who were selling drugs. I avoided that shit like the plague because drugs will get you caught the fuck up. So I didn't bother with that shit. So I couldn't really tell you how often they were smoking it, but I know dudes were smoking it. And I know motherfuckers that was getting their wig split because they had drug debts and they couldn't pay them. And in prison, a motherfucker wants his money. He's not trying to hear about that bullshit. And interest is serious. And like I said, people make a living out of that in prison. So the drug game, I stayed away from it. What happens to rappers in prison? Just like anybody else, man. As long as you ain't, doing any, acting like a dumbass. Big Herc, I'm feeling really down about some bad news about a family member's health. What do you usually do to keep your mind right during difficult times? Meditate. Focus on reading, positive books. I work out. Just try to channel the energy into a direction that's going to be more positive than negative. You know, there's always bad energy out there, but you can't let it bring you down. Somebody said, you haven't had any mad dog in you anymore, have you? Nah, not lately, man. You know, the mad doggers, man. I don't know what that shit is all about, man. Some people just have a lot of insecurities, man. Somebody said, was you a blood or a crip? All my homies, you know what? The big homies was I had big homies that were bloods, but me and my folks was they was all sea dogs. They were all crippin'. You know what I mean? And it was like at that time in high school, you know, people had the blue rags and doing shit, but you know, we had big homies that were bloods, but we was all family, man. You know what I mean? So it was more of a hood thing. It's just the younger guys, you know, were more associated with Crips, and the older homies a lot of them were bloods. But when it came time to getting down, like our neighborhood, if we had a problem with another set, and then it was everybody had each other's backs. That's just how it was. Hey Herc, did y'all have piss tests? Yeah. In prison, they would have random piss tests. Have you come down there and piss to see if you have been smoking weed. What other traits can you tell your persons are punks besides typical sights and tight clothing and shit like that? Well, shit, man. You know, you got to watch out for the Peter gazers. Motherfucker doing a lot of Peter gazing. You know what I mean? He might be on some, some homosexual time. You know, if a motherfucker's always trying to sit close to you, you know, trying to, whenever you're getting dressed, getting out the shower, he come to the cell. Those are little signs you got to watch out for. You know, or if a dude is showing you fuck books, but he don't want to give you the fuck book, but he want to look at it with you. That's some motherfucking, homosexual shit you got to watch out for. How can I get down with you and the hustle? I'm an ex-con, also I hustle hard, legal only, networking. Man, shoot us an email, FreshOutSeries@gmail.com. And, it's just about, figuring out what type of, hustle you got going legally, man. Whether it's art, whether it's, some type of business, some type of social media, some marketing. I mean, there's a lot of different things, but, it's all about putting together different ideas so that we can all make money. Herc, I was a good kid. Never did any bad shit, but as I got older, I started getting involved in shit. Coincidentally, at the exact same time, I started listening to violent rappers like Tay600. Never heard of him. Yeah, man, as you get older, you realize a lot of the shit you did when you were young was some bullshit. So you try to, hopefully reflect back on those times and use it as a point of reference and, not do the same dumb shit, man. I mean, when I was young, man, I used to ride around with a 380, you know what I'm saying? And the motherfucker wouldn't register, you know what I mean? It was just in my car, and I had it on me in case the motherfucker tried to jack me or if I had to put in work, and it was stupid. I mean, I could have caught a number of cases for riding dirty, man. And for what? Because I was trying to prove something? I mean, people talk about, oh, they're gangster. A lot of these motherfuckers, man, they never did no gangster shit in their life. They ain't never ran up on anybody, did anything. And I'm not bragging about it, but it's like, I did a lot of stupid shit, man. I'm just glad, man, that I didn't get caught up in something worse than what I did. The bank robbery, man, that was a fortunate wake-up call as opposed to catching a motherfucking, a gun, a fucking attempted murder or some other bullshit for something stupid. Omari, thanks for the donation. Hey, Herc, have you ever heard of anyone trying to escape? Yeah. My homie tried to escape. One of my dogs I knew, he had tried to escape, not when I was there, but he told me about his escape. And basically his bolt cutters to cut through the fence, he made it through the first fence, and he said the second fence, he couldn't make it through. The bolt cutters broke, and so he was stuck. So he was actually hiding out at the prison on top of the roof, and they had that on lockdown, and it was wintertime in Colorado, and it was so cold, he just eventually turned himself in because he was freezing to death. So he did try to escape, man, but it didn't work out accordingly. And then when he turned himself in and basically came out of hiding because, they did a count and couldn't find him, he was sent to Marion. So he was in fucking lockdown, man, for years. I want to say he spent like 8 years in lockdown. Gregory Lopez, thanks for the donation. I'd like to see Chop It Up with Joe on the After Prison show. See you guys trade stories. Why would I want to... Joe, I never really watched his show. Peace and respect, man. Thank you, man. But I never watched his show. But as far as, like, I don't know if he gets off on telling these stories. But my thing is, like, more or less, like, what'd you learn from that? What can you show a youngster so he don't do the same stupid shit you did? I mean, prison stories, man, I'd rather hear about stories of motherfuckers, making moves on the streets, man. Prison is fucking, it's not exciting. It's not like the fucking movies, man. In the movies, it makes it seem like motherfuckers is in there doing all kind of shit. Nah, man. Prison is fucking horrible. Fuck prison. Time for the shout-outs, y'all. Shout-outs. It's about that time. I gotta go hit the gym. So I need to get the fuck off this motherfucking live stream so I can go get my exercise on. Let's see the shout-outs. Where y'all from? We got, of course, North Highlands, Sacramento, Sacktown in the house. Who else we got out there? We got LA. Who else we got? We got Mansfield, Ohio, Chi-Town, Kansas, 626, Sydney, Australia, Colorado, Compton, Tucson, Arizona, reppin', Kentucky, 818. We got Atlanta, South Los, 902, NYC, ATL, Arbor, Michigan. We got Sarasota, Florida, North Hollywood, Citrus Heights, Hayward, Silver Spring, Maryland, 916, Simi Valley, Philly, Jamaica, Chicago, Brazil, Seattle, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Bakersfield, California. James, thanks for the donation. Do you know any St. Louis people while locked down? If so, what do you think about them? I didn't really know too many people from St. Louis, man. I think maybe there was one. No, maybe I ran across one cat that was from St. Louis, but I can't really recall. I mean, the feds, you got people from everywhere, but I didn't really. I can't really recall having any interactions with anybody from St. Louis. Shout out to 615 Nashville, Medaway, Massachusetts, Jamaica, Kanoa, Oklahoma, Maryland, Pontiac, Michigan, Phoenix, Arizona, Kanoa, Fort Worth, Germantown, Maryland. Shout out to Largo, Florida, Dallas, 415. Hey, man, Paso Robles, Oakland, Toronto, Canada, Wayne, Indiana, Riverside, 951, Pakistan, Southgate, 360, Iraq, Baltimore, Oregon Coast, Dayton, Ohio, Huntsville, New Jersey, Brooklyn, 718, Las Vegas, Long Beach, Sacramento, of course, 415, DC. Shout out to everybody who tuned in. Thank you for tuning in. I got to wrap this thing up. I'll be back again next week. Holler at me. And shoot us an email, FreshOutSeries@gmail.com. Also, make sure you guys subscribe to the Instagram. We're going to have the Wig Splitter of the Week, and we'll be doing giveaways. So make sure you subscribe to the Instagram so that way you guys can be tuned in to all the giveaways on Instagram. And thank you, Iron Man, for the donation, man. Shout out to Santa Ana, Orange County, California. And I appreciate you guys tuning in, man. Back at you next week. Stay positive. Do something good with your life. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing glamorous about prison. It's more glamorous being on the street, being a motherfucking baller, getting your money on. And, yeah, man, taking care of your family. I'm out.